Hi, it's Walter Burns from Keller Williams City Life Realty and livingonthehudson.com. Today we're going to tour the Hudson River waterfront and go over the West New York waterfront condominium options. So just to orient ourselves here, West New York sits along the Hudson River waterfront across from Midtown Manhattan, basically right across from like Empire State Building, Hudson Yards area. West New York is a pretty large town. It runs along the waterfront here and goes further west to almost back here by the Meadowlands and looping around by Union City. So it's a pretty large town. Today we're just going to discuss the waterfront condominium options that exist in West New York. So just to orient ourselves, West New York, just south of West New York is Weehawken here, which I have discussed in a previous video. And it basically begins just north of Weehawken and runs along the waterfront up until right about here. And just north of where it ends is Guttenberg, which I'll review in the next video. But West New York waterfront, this area here is generally speaking has been called Port Imperial. This used to be a shipping port back in the day. It was developed starting in like the 90s into condominiums and apartments, and it's still being built today. So starting on the south side here in the Port Imperial section of West New York, just moving a little further north from Weehawken, there are several condominium options located on the south side here in West New York. You have mixed use residential rental and condominium. So many of these buildings here along the waterfront are exclusive rental buildings. However, the first group of buildings that are condominiums is called the Hudson Club. And that is located on the Hudson River waterfront, and the address is 24 and 26 Avenue at Port Imperial. So this road here is called Avenue at Port Imperial. 24 and 26 Avenue at Port Imperial is the Hudson Club. This was originally a residential rental building that was converted into condominiums in the early 2000s. And it's 1, 2, and 3 bedroom layouts. As I mentioned, there's 2 separate buildings here along the riverfront. There's an amenity building right here, which has a gym, basketball court, residence lounge. That serves both of these buildings. That amenity building also services these rental buildings as well. So they also have access to that as part of the agreement with the developer of this complex. The Hudson Club also has an outdoor pool here along the Hudson River waterfront, which is basically open from May until September. And they are U-shaped courtyard buildings, so there's a courtyard in the middle of each of them. Concierge located in 24 Avenue at Port Imperial. If you live in 26, you can have packages sent to 24 and they will hold them there for you. But this building, 26, does not have a concierge. If you want to visit somebody here, there is an intercom, and the concierge can remotely open the door for residents in this building. So the concierge sits over here. And that is the Hudson Club in West New York. And I'm going to link down below to my website, livingonthehudson.com, where you can browse the available properties for sale and for rent in that complex. Just north of the Hudson Club are 2 more condominium buildings here called Grandview I and Grandview II. Grandview I is located at 22 Avenue at Port Imperial. It was built first. And then Grandview II is located at 20 Avenue at Port Imperial, and that was built after Grandview I. These were built in the mid-2000s by K. Hovnanian, the developer based out of New Jersey. Again, U-shaped condominium buildings, full-service buildings. Each building has a concierge. Each building has a pool, as you can see here. Each building has a fitness center, residence lounge, parking, as well as commercial retail on the ground level. There's a few restaurants and shops here along the way. Also, if you live in this complex, it's very convenient. There's a Acme supermarket, there's a Starbucks over here, there's a lot of restaurants and shops, daycare. You don't have to like really go far. It's kind of like a city within a city. So you have the Hudson Club here on the south, Grandview I and Grandview II here on the north. And then the newest building here along in the Port Imperial area is 9 on the Hudson. And this is 9 Avenue at Port Imperial. This was built by K. Hovnanian, who also built Grandview I and II. And this was built around 2014, 2015, 2016 here along the Hudson River waterfront. There are two other lots here along the waterfront, which Toll Brothers owns, which will be developed eventually, but right now there's nothing, no plans for immediate construction. But in 9 on the Hudson, you have, again, similar to the Avora building in Weehawken, you have a terrace, like step up one side of the building, which they have large terraces that overlook the city, and then you have as well as like 1, 2, 3 bedroom condos scattered throughout. Pool, concierge, residence lounge, parking as well in the building. Very nice. One of the newer buildings along the Hudson River waterfront. Next to it and north and south of it are exclusive rental buildings. So this is an exclusive rental building. This is an exclusive rental building. You can only rent in these two buildings, but this is a condo building where you can purchase. Just north of 9 on the Hudson, you're entering, there's a bunch of exclusive rental buildings here called the Landings. You can only rent there. But then you enter into Bulls Ferry and Jacobs Ferry here. And Bulls Ferry and Jacobs Ferry is a townhome community that was built by K. Ovnanian in the mid-90s, and it finished around the early 2000s. 2, 3, 4, 5 bedroom townhome layouts, parking. These are more of like your traditional suburban style. When you think of a townhome, this is what your best option in this area. And I'll zoom in here, as you can see. Maybe the pin will drop down. Nope, it's not allowing me to drop. But and I'll link down below to the options available here. But if you're looking for square footage, large spaces, your own parking, your own garage, this complex is going to offer that for you. And this complex is actually, it straddles two towns. So West New York here, and then Guttenberg side of the complex here. You will not know that you went from West New York into Guttenberg. There's no major line of demarcation, but around 70% of the complex is in West New York. Around 30% of the complex is in Guttenberg, and Guttenberg is basically right here. So the West New York side ends right here on Lydia Drive. The complex has an outdoor pool, has on-site management, which is located right here. There is no gym here. There are no other real amenities that you're seeing in these large-scale buildings. This was built prior to the amenity-driven complexes where there's lounges and movie theaters. Here, you have an outdoor pool, and there is a children's playground, which is right here. But again, if you want square footage, you want larger homes, this offers that. The nice thing about this complex is, relatively speaking, the maintenance fees are rather lower compared to the other condo buildings, just because there's less amenities. So that is the West New York waterfront options, and I will link down below to them through my website, livingonthehudson.com. If you have any questions about any of these complexes, I can be reached at 347-448-3766 or at walter@livingonthehudson.com. Have a great day.